Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us at Cayman Connections Virtual Yard Meeting. We hold these virtual yard meetings every Wednesday, and we are joined by some fantastic guests, and we have been throughout the year. This week, we're really happy to be joined by Resilience Cayman, who have been doing some fantastic things in Cayman and are about to launch a Management Trainee Programme. We have done some partnerships with Resilience Cayman, and we've got some exciting things coming up, so we're looking forward to hearing more. I'd like to introduce here Jan Gupta, who is the founder and chair of Resilience Cayman. Jan's lifelong passion for solving big issues led her to start Resilience Cayman in order to support individuals and families in Cayman who have been directly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic in the form of socioeconomic hardships. Jan brings her 25 years of experience in business, finance, and entrepreneurship from Canada and the US to help guide Resilience Cayman in its various programs that include support for local farmers and entrepreneurs, as well as young Caymanians joining the workforce, and those residents needing helping hand when they get back on their feet after job disruption. We also have joining us Tishay Lawson, who has been a member of Resilience Cayman joining the Management Trainee Programme. So we're really happy to have her here. And Bazar Kapina we have here, who is the marketing and operations lead at Resilience Cayman. So thank you so much for joining us. It's great for our members to be able to see who we're partnering with and who's doing what in Cayman. And we look forward to learning more. Jan, may I pass over to you?
Thank you, Kate. Hello, everyone. This is a great opportunity, so I'm very excited that we get to share a little bit of what we've been up to since about April of last year, soon after we went into lockdown when Resilience was founded. And like Kate said, it really was something that was founded to assist in the immediate impact of the crisis in terms of socioeconomic hardship. So people who suddenly lost their jobs and couldn't even feed themselves. And since then, it's evolved into really expanding the scope of what we are trying to assist with, to include young Caymanians who were finding that they were struggling to be able to secure employment. So if you think about people who already are looking for work, who are experienced and have been thrown out of work, and then you've got new graduates who have to compete even harder to be able to showcase what they are about in a marketplace where there's very little in the form of new hiring taking place. It makes for a really challenging environment. And so we came up with an internship program last summer, and we were probably one of the few organizations in Cayman who actually had an internship program in the summer last year as businesses were just reopening. Because many of the large employers were not necessarily looking to bring on interns when they were just in the process of reopening their doors anyway. And so we actually had 40 interns that we worked with, we brought on, many of them assisted, including Tishay, who I will pass on later on to talk about her experiences. So who assisted with our programs in-house, as well as many who were placed with different employers in Cayman. And I would say that all of them reported that they benefited greatly from not just from the actual work skills that they acquired, but also from how to work in teams, how to work in a virtual environment, because it was largely virtual. And so these were skills that are kind of the softer skills, which again, transfer really well to kind of the modern workplace, the post-COVID workplace, if you will, where virtual is just par for the course. It's no longer something that's special or unique about anybody's job anymore. And so we're really excited about the Management Trainee Program, which is the next evolution of what we started last year. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. And then the last program that I want to highlight that Resilience is really excited about, and we've had this, we launched this in December, just before Christmas last year, is Local Market, which is an online marketplace for local products in Cayman. So some of you may already be familiar with this in terms of being able to order them, because that's the exciting new announcement that we've worked with Cayman Connection on recently to bring to you overseas, is really the ability to be able to to enjoy Cayman-made products in the places like the UK. So what we started that with was really, again, to be able to provide a virtual platform for local entrepreneurs and artisans who have amazing, tremendous products, things that are like locally made soaps and candles, beef jerky and kombucha and various other items that have a Caymanian twist to it, and be able to enjoy that without leaving their homes. So this is all online ordering delivered to their doorstep. And that is a facility that has not existed in Cayman. There are other online stores that are available, but again, not every entrepreneur has the time or the energy or the resources to be able to really have a very effective online presence. So what we are providing for them is kind of a training wheel. So we actually assist them, become their partner in managing their online store, and do that for them along with the actual delivery service as well. And what they get to do is to really focus on their product, being able to develop good products and be able to bring them to market with our assistance. And as a nonprofit, I'm really excited that we get to do that because, again, usually that is a concept in most parts of the world that's very much, it's a for-profit business in itself. So this really is something that we're doing to assist the entrepreneurs in Cayman, along with Caymanians who are overseas who have great ideas and are looking to do export from the UK or wherever they're producing these products, and even artists and musicians who are making great music and great art who want to be able to promote that in Cayman. This is a vehicle that will allow for that to happen. So having said that, I'd like to actually just dive straight into what we're very excited to announce today, which is the Management Trainee Program. Kate, I'm going to share screen now so that we can actually go through this as a slide presentation. Okay, so the actual Management Trainee Program, so what we had done last year was for continuing students who were in university or college and we're looking to pick up work experience during the summer. This is slightly different. This is actually geared towards graduates, recent graduates from college and university courses, both in Cayman as well as Caymanians situated overseas. And it is in the form of virtual sessions. So these can be joined and registered for Caymanian graduates anywhere. And they comprise 6 sessions. So 6 weekly online sessions. And this is live sessions, which are guided along with a complement of coaching sessions. So these are bi-weekly coaching sessions. What we're trying to do here is to really be able to bring a lot of industry experts and subject matter experts to be able to provide that as a knowledge base for new graduates who normally would have to go to a recruiting agency or to another kind of organization where they might get a little sliver of this information if their career center at their university or college doesn't provide this. So we're bringing all of this into a one-stop shop experience, and the dates for it, the program actually starts, this will be our inaugural program for management trainees. It's January 24th and it goes to March 3rd. And these are remote sessions, and it will also include a career workshop. So as far as the actual content of what this certificate course will include, it will be many topics, including career skills, business communication. So these are the soft skills that graduates can actually be able to provide to future employers, interested employers, to say we are certified in being able to work remotely in teams and being able to draft business emails. We can do market research in terms of creating surveys and analyzing results. We can develop proposals. So these are all very relevant and usable skills that an employer would be looking for from someone who's a new graduate who has a whole bunch of technical knowledge in their field or specialization from university or college, but they don't necessarily have this last bit, which is really about how to go into a job and succeed at it, which is what the day-to-day requirement would be in an entry role. And then the last topic that we will cover is digital marketing and social media, which again is something that no longer is just about marketing. This has become kind of an expectation for many industries and many job roles to actually have an appreciation for what digital marketing and social media looks like. We will also be including in this certificate program these additional resources. So that includes evaluating on a one-to-one basis and coaching session and individual skills and really what kind of job they might be fit for. They've already chosen their career by getting an education in a specific specialization, but really let's bridge that into what does that translate into the kind of jobs that are currently available in the marketplace. Also self-improvement tools. So we will be using different tools that are industry leading in many cases. So that includes LinkedIn Learning, which is a really big one, and HubSpot training. There will be a resume preparation seminar and then an interview preparation seminar and feedback. That one's really key because I truly can attest to the fact that we can never get enough practice with interviews, whether we're the interviewer or the interviewee. So this is actually, again, very timely for any graduates or soon to be graduates who are looking to equip themselves for the best shot in the marketplace, in the workforce. The actual certification will be based on just the successful completion of the 6 weeks. And this will be a formal certificate that can actually be included on the individual's LinkedIn profile as well. So this again helps build the graduate up as being an established job seeker who is coming to an employer and getting their attention, not just on the basis of their degree, but also on the basis of skills that they've acquired beyond that. As far as the requisites, so this is geared towards students who either have already graduated in 2020 or spanning all the way into their graduating next summer in 2022. So we are catering to recent or soon to be graduating students. And these individuals would be available to continue in full-time roles after their management training program ends, because really the part of the process and plan is that we are going to have job placements available after a student completes the 6-week certification program. Then they will go right into a job placement or a trainee placement with an employer either in Cayman or in the UK, if that is where they choose to continue to reside. So the job placement would allow for them to translate what they've learned both in their college course as well as in the certificate program into an actual role. And then the employer would then be able to assess during the trainee program if this individual is a great fit and be able to offer them a full-time role. So it really is about building that bridge and that pathway so that any graduate goes from, okay, I've got my degree now, what do I do? How do I get myself into a role that I love? This is also, as far as prerequisites, this is open to Caymanian graduates who could be residing in Cayman or overseas. So currently we have working partnerships with employers in Cayman, and we are working closely with similar type of placements in the UK as well. Okay, having said all that, I'd like to invite Tashay to speak a little bit about her experience with Resilience. So Tashay actually applied to our internship program originally last year and decided to stay on and has since also become a trainee with us. And Tashay is completing her business administration degree at ICCI here in Cayman. So Tashay, could you speak to your experience with our motley crew here in Resilience?
Yes, I can. Hello, everyone again. Like Jan said, my name is Tesha Lawson. I started with Resilience last year with the food voucher program, and just seeing the work that they were doing was something I was very involved with. I was very amazed by, and so having that opportunity, I just wanted to continue. So it started from food vouchers, then we went to the
I think we lost Tesha.
Hello, I'm sorry. I think that was a technical on me. Teshe, I was trying to get your. I'm not sure if everyone can see Teshe. Can we see if we're not sharing a screen, Jan? Perhaps we can see Teshe while she speaks. Sorry to interrupt her. Is she needing the screen with you? I'm trying to put Teshe with you for the.
Oh, there she is.
Here we are. I'm not sure if we can share a screen as well. Teshe, do you need the presentation?
No, I'm just speaking to my experience, so it's just coming.
Perfect. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so continuing, I started with the food voucher program, then we went with the CUC program, the CUC relief program, and now local market. And I'm helping in the IT department, so I'm helping with the development of the local market website. It's been an amazing journey. I've made some amazing partnerships. I've made some amazing friends, people I'd love to call family at one point. Starting only in school and having mostly experience as a work study student with my school, venturing with Resilience Cayman was sort of extending a family, like I was saying before. So it was pretty simple, it was pretty easy. There was a lot of tools like HubSpot that I was able to get some certifications with. So I was able to properly, manage the website and deal with customers and vendors. And I also got a little bit of photography in there because I had to take some vendor photos. And it's a really fun experience. And I hope I get to continue. And I will always encourage anyone who would like to, start either continue your work experience or start your work experience, to start with Resilience and with this program, because it has really helped me a lot. And yeah, I can't say anything better than just come here. We're amazing.
Thank you, Teshe. I will mention one more thing, which is that Teshe has been very instrumental in many of the programs that we've delivered, and to the point where we were actually recognized, and Teshe was recognized both at ICCI and by the event that Cayman Connection recently had at the governor's residence. So it really does speak to the fact that doing good for the community also does translate into good things for individuals to step up. And it's a win-win all around, because not only has she acquired these skills that she can use in her career, but she has also been able to get a good understanding and appreciation for the community efforts, the grassroots efforts that are going on in Cayman during a very difficult and challenging time, I think, really worldwide. So to be on the front lines of that, I think, is probably the most the best promise that this program offers to young graduates. Having said that, I'll say one more thing, and then I want to introduce Bazurka. And that is that for any business owners, either located in the UK or in Cayman, who are interested in being able to participate and partner with us in order to connect with management trainees who come out of our program with certificates, that is something that we can certainly facilitate. So this would just require the employer to reach out to Resilience, and we're located at resilience.ky, and we can be contacted either by phone or by sending a contact form through our website. Having said that, I want to introduce Bazurka, who also is very, very instrumental in all of the great things that we do. So Bazurka Pena is actually located in Canada at the present time, but she is, you wouldn't know where she lives because she is everywhere all at once. And so she is the marketing and operations lead for Resilience. So at some point, if you are doing the management trainee program or are an employer who is working with us, you will definitely be speaking with Bazurka, because not only does she provide all of the programming support, but she actually also is a great teacher and mentor to all of the young Caymanians who have come through Resilience. And I can certainly speak to, I learn something new from her every day. So Bazurka, do you have something you want to add as far as our program, management program goes, or for anything that Resilience is doing? Oh, you want to get off your microphone mute.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm so humble. Now I don't know what to say. So yes, we've been working on this program now for a year and a half, believe it or not, right? So we have a lot of experience. So I think that most of the things that describe the operations and the program have already been said, but I want to speak about the program from a mentor standpoint, because I've been able to witness this transformation in all the different individuals that we have. And yes, we work with 40 people, and the majority of them are now fully employed with Cayman companies and doing a lot of work in the community. So one of the things that it's really, really important nowadays is that we offer all these things remotely, and the ability to work and manage yourself remotely, it's so important right now. And most of us don't have those capabilities because we're used to the face-to-face interaction. So there is a big part of this that actually represents not only what is that you are going to do or what are you going to work. So, it's more like a life plan, right? You study something. Are you happy doing what you are doing? And if you are not, whose responsibility is it? How are we going to learn these tools to self-empower ourselves to work on different things? So many students and myself, sometimes we do things like, oh yes, I need to improve my communications. But in this plan, it's not like, oh, you want to improve your communications. Okay, so why and what do you mean, right? It's remote communications. Is it verbal communication? Do you want to improve the way you look in front of a computer? Or do you want to improve the way that you talk to the people when there is a crisis? So this is not the program that you join if you just want something quick and something to put in your resume. If you join this program, you are going to work hard, but I can assure you that at the end of this program, the results are going to be so amazing that they are really going to be transformative. And on top of that, you have all these credentials and badges and certifications that you can put in your resume so that you can find the best job that you can have in this particular time. So this is not read a book, feel good about yourself. No, this is a boot camp, right? We're gonna get together, we're gonna have a resume, we're gonna work together. You are going to have to put a lot of work, but at the end of the day, we are absolutely sure that you will have a very competitive resume that will give.
Sorry, Berserk, I think you've gone on mute again by accident.
There I go. So this is it. And yes, I am blessed enough that I am the front line to work with all of you together. So if you register, we'll be working for the next 3 months. Again, we have a huge number of subject matter experts that are going to join us from HR, for coaching, from career, from individual development, from proposal management. So there is a ton of things to do, and we are going to have people in Cayman and we are going to have people overseas. So we will kind of work around your schedule. We already discussed about having different sessions if we have people in the UK, so that we can actually work with you in your timeline, and or over the weekends, maybe in the morning. We don't require a lot of time, but this program would be around 40 to 50 hours of work that I think that we can all commit in order to actually get a better job, right? On 6 weeks. So maybe 5, 6, and most of these are actually self-work, reading books, working on training and things like that. So I'm sure you have tons of questions, so you know what to do. Go to resilience.ky and you can fill your information, and I'll be in contact with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Jan, did you want to say anything more, or shall I take over for a couple of questions? Were you finishing off?
Yes, let's open to questions. And thank you everyone for sharing this time with us. But we are very excited about this, and again, we look forward to hosting some of you in the new year when we start this program in January.
Great. So I'll probably kick off with a couple of questions. Anyone who's listening in who wants to ask a question, either raise your hand or pop it in the chat and we can ask. I think I wanted to start. So first, thank you very much to the three of you for that inspiring introduction. And actually, even though we've talked about it over the months, I have a much better understanding now of how it works. And it's been really awesome to see the development and how it's all kind of come together, and how you're working on experience. I just want to say, for me, it was perfect when we first started talking about possible partnerships and some of the things that you would be doing when you mentioned this, because it was something that Cayman Connection did want to get involved with, because we saw the need. And not only do we see the need, but we have obviously quite close connections with private sector sponsors who sponsor their scholars to go overseas and to study and to get the best out of their experience. And we also have links in with private sector who do run internship programs and are always looking for new ways to find the next students. And that's where they usually would reach out to us and go, how can we reach your students? How can we reach the people? And in those conversations, on most occasions, the private sector would often say what seems to be lacking is these transferable business skills. We get students who really are very well qualified in their field, and do understand what they're trying to do, but they don't have that in-office experience. I think what used to be called soft skills. I think we're changing the terminology a little bit now, as far as I understand it. But a number of the private sector, our private sector partners were saying that, can you do something? Let's do more of this. So when you said you were doing it, I was like, brilliant. There's a need for this. It's definitely wanted from our private sector members. So we're really, really happy to see it happening. You talked about all of the different things, and obviously to put together a program like this when there is so much to learn, it must be hard to narrow it down. You have a schedule and you have certain speakers and certain workshops. Is there any, like you say, there's a capability for the student to come to you or the graduate to come to you and say, I'm really struggling with this area, and if it isn't in your schedule, can you try and work with them on that? And that's what you were saying, you could be a bit flexible on certain topics.
That's the coaching sessions. That's why we have the 6 that are actually target to everybody, but we are all in our own journey. So it's impossible to really help it support individuals if we don't help them in their specific journey. So the beauty of working with subject matter experts is that they actually volunteer some of their time when we have found that there are specific things that need to be developed. So when we have people that discover that their passion is online, we have actually given them additional training. Like in the case of Tashe, for example, when we started, she was working in a very specific food program, and her passion was technology. So we migrated her with extra training and extra resources so that she can move into a different position that was launching local market as a technical support. That was not part of the program, but that was because her interest was there. We have had other individuals that needed support with certain resources to manage conflict or to do some type of scheduling improvement. So we actually work with certain organizations and we refer them to some counseling or some specific people that will help with those skills. So depending on the situation, we have the resources, and if we don't have them, we try to partner with someone that actually could help us. The beauty of this is that we are a nonprofit. We have very beautiful partnerships, but most of the time we actually stay in those topics. We just go and create a few more in-depth training for the people that require them.
Makes sense. Great. Excellent. We have a question from the chat here. The positions that the students go into afterwards, the internships that you're leading the students into, are they paid internships? Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the internships that
they are paid internships. The actual terms of the internship would be negotiated between the trainee and the employer. But the way that we are engaging with employers is it's a program that allows them, again, what's different and what is beneficial to employers is that these are graduates. They're not continuing students. So it's not like they're there just for the summer and then they're going off back to school. These are people who are ready to work and go into full-time roles. And the employer has the opportunity for a shorter period of time. And that's again up to for them to negotiate with the graduate, with the trainee, is whether that's a 3-month stint or a 6-month stint that they would do as a trainee at the employer's location. And then after that, the employer is in a position to say, you know, I've really liked how you've worked and how you've incorporated and integrated with my team, and I want to offer you a full-time position. So it would be paid during that trainee program, but then it would translate into, in some cases, not always, into a full-time position with a salary that's commensurate with specific role. This allows for the trainee to actually, and this is something that's an established program in many large corporations, where they have a trainee program where the trainee actually gets to try out different parts and different divisions in a company. Okay. And so they could do a month in marketing, they could do another month in strategy, for example, and they could do a 3rd month in supply chain. And it allows them to really get a very good understanding of the company and whether that's something that they are very interested in continuing on with, or if that's something that's a great learning experience and they move on to something else. So it really allows for both sides, the trainee as well as the employer, to assess each other and see if they enjoy working with each other, and in the context of a paid internship. So that's actually a really important point. The other point that's very important that we didn't mention before is that this program, the Management Trainee Certificate, does not cost the graduate anything. Mm-hmm. We're a nonprofit. We are provided with sponsorships and private donations. We currently do not get any subsidies from the government here in Cayman. So it's really from fundraising, et cetera, that we're able to offer. There is obviously a definite cost to putting on this program, but we are funding that through our donations and not necessarily going out to the graduates and saying, hey, you got to pay us thousands of dollars in order to be able to participate in this. So that's another real great benefit after going through expensive education. I would suspect that most graduates would appreciate the fact that they get to have this program that they can access and be part of without necessarily having to open their wallet. What we do require is a definitive commitment in terms of doing the work and being able to participate fully so that they can get the most out of it.
And there was mention of it for that reason, a fee, an initial registration fee that would be refunded once the student has, or once the graduate has gone through the whole program. Is that still the case?
Yeah, it's a $100 registration fee, which is really a deposit. However, for graduates that want to register early, we're waiving that. So they don't even need to put in that deposit fee. But again, because there's limited spaces available, because we will only take on a certain number of spots for that first cohort coming in January 24th, it's really about getting their spot in and then committing to showing up and doing the work. So that's what we ask for in exchange for waiving the fee. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think those fees are good, particularly in terms of getting the commitment. And I think, you know, there's a value to that. You know, there's a financial value as well as obviously the value that's coming from all the learnings, and that is and that ensures hopefully that the students will stay with you. And on registration, this will all be launched in the next few months and as you lead up. But what are there any deadlines on registration? Is it first come, first serve? How do you look at the applications for this?
The registration is open already in our website. So we are looking at this on a first come, first serve basis right now.
Okay.
So
so
when we reach our limit, we will put an announcement on the website to say that the program is closed. And so if the application is available online, that means that we still have space.
Good to know. And perhaps when you're nearing that number, you can let us know and we can start sharing out and letting people know that there are not many places left.
Definitely.
Great. A couple more questions here. Would you consider high school graduates who want to go straight into work and not necessarily go to university? You're talking about graduation and graduates. So you would consider high school graduates as well? Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question. How many spots do you all have available in your program?
We don't take more than 40 management trainees per session.
Okay, all right. And then I noticed you said you kind of like match. So if somebody's from Canada, right, and they're applying, like a Caymanian from Canada is applying, would you try to match them with a mentee in Canada or something like that, or how does that work?
Well, the coaching sessions and the different work sessions, they are all remotely. So it will work perfectly if they are in Canada, because when this runs, we will be at the same time zone. So it will be no difference for them. In terms of the post internship, what we are trying to do is we are making connections with Caymanians that run business overseas so that they can take these interns from our foundation. So we do have a number of people in other places. At this particular time, we don't have anybody on Canada, but there are two options for that graduate. One is we need interns at Resilience Cayman to work with us, just exactly as Tashay is working. And secondly, when the countries are identified and there is somebody that requires some support in terms of finding a job, then at that point we reach out to the industrial community. And I don't know exactly where in Canada would be, but here where I'm located in Toronto, we have a huge Caribbean community with a very big, the Chamber of Commerce has a Cayman Islands, not a chapter, but a group of people that are very active. So we can reach out to them and present what we are doing. We haven't done that in Canada yet, but we can do it.
Fantastic. And I should have said welcome, Jared. He came in actually just after the introduction. So that's
I like that card, Jared.
Yeah. Joining us, Jared. Nice
I'm in British Columbia, so I think you're 2 hours ahead. So we're in the same country, so it's good to know that. Okay, thank you. I thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Brilliant. I just have one here about a minimum education requirement. Do you have a minimum education requirement for the program?
Well, this is graduates, so it depends on their program, right?
Yeah.
There are some people that are studying their associates. There are people that are studying their business, their BA or BCom. And I also have many people that are in the master's MBA program. So, because these are soft skills, again, if you are a college or university student, this is at that level, but then when you go to the coaching session or the one-on-one work, then it will be adjusted to what you're doing. But the majority of the people that work with us are either in college or university.
And that's not to say that we would turn down somebody who's very motivated and eager, who has graduated high school. So as long as they're over 18 and Caymanian, we would definitely want to work with them.
Great. And how about mature students, people who might be getting back into the workplace for one reason or another? Their life circumstances have been such that they're not in the young graduate position. Have you had many of those? Would you consider that?
We're not necessarily targeted to that age group, but and I think we would want to continue giving priority to young graduates. But that's not to say on a case-by-case basis we would turn them down. There is no age limit on this.
Yeah, great. And you mentioned the communication with the coach and how that coaching system works. And I love the way you're kind of interspersing the workshop with the actual one-on-one coaching, because that coaching, that mentorship, that having somebody to actually talk through things with, I think is really important. In your experience, after the program's finished, depending on the coach, is that person could still be available? I guess they would work it out themselves. And has that happened before, where a coach will keep in touch with the management trainee, or is it's finished?
Coach are educators. We are using a tool from Gartner to start this process, which is a self-assessment tool that it's called Strength Finder. I am sure that you guys are familiar with that. So our coaches are volunteers, and they are just committed for the time of the session. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I know of many that have built personal relationships with the students, but every interaction that happens after our program is not managed by our program. So I don't have a definite answer. I guess that in some situations the answer is yes, in some situations the answer is no, it finishes. But again, it's volunteer, they are educators, these are not therapists. Mm-hmm. It's not a coaching session in that sense. Is mostly a career coaching session, right?
Sure, got you. Yeah, understood.
Yes.
And how do you match? Is it through the Strength Finder that you match the coach, or how does that coach to trainee matching up happen?
Well, we already have. There is an intake process, right? When people register, they send a resume, and they have a first interview that it's a conversation with me. So right. People don't come to this program without us knowing who they are. Mm. Before we actually start the program, we have a long conversation with the applicants so they understand what the program is, what it's required, and so we understand who we are teaching to. Because if we end up, let's say, with 20 people that they all want to learn about project management and things like that, then we will switch our program to target those individuals. So as much as we have a very high level to capture these customers, at the end of the day, we make changes in each session based to the audience that we have. This is not a cookie cut program like in a class when you go and register and that's the class, right? Here it's different. So that's why I encourage everybody to join this session, because depending on your needs, you will actually have some flexibility to learn those things. We cannot do a career coach and an interviewing class if we first don't evaluate the resume that you have right now and how well you are in the interviews at this point. So that's number one, even before the program starts.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I think we'll probably talk more about the business connections that between us will make for the trainees that come out of your program. And but in the meantime, Jan's mentioned already that any businesses can get in touch should they want to be a part of receiving trainees for internships and beyond. And I will continue that conversation with our partners for sure. So we can certainly talk more about that. But I just wanted to reiterate that this is this is a message for the businesses as well as the graduates, because it's a great opportunity to grab the best of the best while you can. So so that's brilliant. Do we have any more questions from the floor? Does anyone else have anything that they'd like to ask? I'll also say, while we're waiting, for those watching on the video, you can always get in touch with us at hello@caymanconnection.org. We will, of course, pass any questions on, and you can contact Resilience Cayman, obviously direct. Do check out resilience.ky for all the information and contact details where you can obviously ask some more questions. So I probably just had one last one, and that's on the certification. You talked about certification, and that's great. You can put it on the LinkedIn and you have it. How will businesses know about what skills the trainee has learned on the certification? Will they have a program of what to expect, or will it be with testimonials? How will a business know what this certification means to them as a business?
Well, Jan, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I can take that. I would say that's, again, part of an awareness campaign that we are already engaging in. Since our internship program was so successful last year with the business community and the Chamber of Commerce here in Cayman, we're going to just continue with that, with this next version, which is the Management Trainee Program, to really bring up the knowledge, the awareness that businesses have here of what we have done, and with the educational institutions. So it's really about an outreach that we're already engaged in. And as part of any sort of placements that we look to do, either in the UK, Canada, or the US, the other overseas markets, that we would need to do the same. And so there's a package of materials that we are going to put together, which are downloadable from our website, from resilience.ky, that an employer who's interested in a placement of a trainee would be able to download, to really have a good understanding of not just what the program was, but also the kind of what that certificate really stands for. So it is a new certificate, so it does take some time, but we're pretty confident that we will be able to establish it as something that, again, it's not a cookie cutter, like Bazurka said. What we're looking to do is to address very specific needs that employers have expressed to us, and it sounds like, Kate, to you as well. The business community has a very definitive understanding and ask of educational institutions to say, this is what the graduates are missing. Can you address this? And it's a hit and miss as far as how much career centers in different colleges and universities are able to address that. And so unless the student is looking to, they've already been handpicked by a large employer who either is involved in sponsoring their education or has already provided them with a placement even before they finish their degree, you're looking at a large number of graduates who really are having to go into the workplace, into the marketplace blind. And so the more we can do on both sides, both the student community as well as the employer community, I think that's really what's going to make this program very effective in terms of really what it's got the potential to do for Caymanian students.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's great. I think that definitely answers a lot of my questions. Tashay, would there be one last thing you might say as someone who's been through the program and still well connected? I mean, you gave us a great idea of what it's like, which has been really helpful, but one last thing for people who are considering this trainee program, what might you say to them now?
The first thing I would say is don't be afraid. Because as someone, like I was saying, who doesn't have a lot of experience, your first thought would be, oh, I may not qualify for what exactly I want to do, or, you know, maybe this is not right for me. That's probably why I don't, you know, have this or have this. I would just say, once it's a passion, once it's something you want to do, and once you've been given this great opportunity, I would say take it with an open heart, an open mind, and just give it your all, because that's exactly what I did. Even though there was a fear in the back of my mind that maybe this wasn't right for me, especially during COVID and with all that was happening, I would just say continue, make that leap, make that jump, and yeah, take the opportunity while you have it, because not a lot of people do.
Fantastic. Take the opportunity. There it is. Great. Well, we are coming to the top of the hour, which is our time. And it's been really insightful, and I'm really excited because I'm seeing this as a really long-term thing, and I'm seeing it grow, and seeing more people get involved and more people understand about it and it improves. So we're really excited, and we're really excited to be able to help you share it out and bring students to you, or however we can as Cayman Connections. So all looks great. Thank you so much. We will be sharing this video, and again, any questions anyone has, please do get in touch. And I just want to say thank you for all you're doing in all areas that you're doing to help Cayman, to help the community, to help the economy, and to help our young people. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Kate.
Thank you for having us.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll say goodbye. Please do join us for another session. We're here every Wednesday, and we have all of our information on our website. Next week, we will be talking about a new mentor program, Mentor Connect. So please do join us, and we will continue with our programming for the rest of the year, and all the information about our events can be found on our website, caymanconnection.org. Thank you so much, everybody.